Hey guys, welcome back to another video. And today, before we start, have you ever felt, like one of those days where you have plans, but your plans just don't matter to other people? Well, I just came back from that, and people don't really ask if you have plans or not. They don't really bother. Honestly, at the time of this recording, I have to return the Tamron lens the lens that I'm gonna be reviewing. I have to return it tomorrow, and yeah, I'm just gonna be giving you a quick overall experience of what it was like for the past 2 weeks with this lens. So the lens that I'm gonna be reviewing today is the Tamron 7300 f4.5 to 6.3. This is the lens. Yeah, as you can see, it's quite long because of the lens hood. So this is the Tamron 7300 at 4.5 to 6.3. It's a telephoto zoom. So it's a budget telephoto from Tamron for the Sony full frame E-mount mirrorless cameras. All right. Let's just get a few things out of the way, which are I'm going to talk about the good things that Tamron has kept consistent with their lenses for the Sony ecosystem, which is they're compact, they're lightweight, and the 67mm filter thread, and also the weather sealing, as well as the overall quality of their lenses. I would say I'll show you a photo that I took of the lens. I took a picture of it side by side with this 70-200 f2.8 from Canon. All right, for their DSLRs. All right, like I said, it's going to be a brief review. I'm just going to share the overall experience. Overall, the experience has been great. Although in the beginning I thought it was going to be a challenge because I'm not so familiar with the telephoto range. I'm used to using primes, and also the longest focal length that I've ever had in my setup is the 2875 f2.8 from Tamron themselves. So to go into an unfamiliar territory was like something that made me feel like can I really shoot with this lens? Can I produce beautiful images? And so far the past 2 weeks has proved otherwise, that I'm able to get some beautiful images from this lens. Tamron really kept that consistency with the lenses in terms of quality, in terms of sharpness as well. The other thing that I found challenging was the aperture. It was an f4.5 to begin with at 70 millimeters, and 6.3 at 300 millimeters, and there's no image stabilization in the lens. So you might want to have your shutter speed at least 1/300 of a second to get optimal sharp images. But again, with the Sony bodies, I'm using the A7iii. It has in-body stabilization, so it wasn't so much of an issue. Although I did face some situations where I had to bump up the ISO because 6.3 is quite small in terms of the aperture was so small that I had to increase the ISO to like 10,000 to get the almost the right, not the right exposure, the just enough exposure for my liking in terms of the photo. So in terms of aperture, it might not have the largest aperture out there. So I made a video on knowing your exposure triangle. You can check it in the link in the description below. So yeah, that's with the aperture. Challenges aside, I'm going to talk about the image quality. As I mentioned before, the image quality for me is sharp enough, as sharp as the 2200 millimeters, although not as sharp as the 2875 f2.8. That's just really sharp. And this one, I would say the sharpness is above the Sony 50 millimeters f1.8 from Sony. It's sharper than that, and of course it could have been sharper. Again, because of the high ISO, you're going to get grainy photos. But then again, the sharpness is there, and you can see it in the images that I'm going to show you in a bit. All right, let the images speak for themselves, and enjoy the photos, and I'll get back to you in a bit. All right, so guys, welcome back, and hopefully you love the images that I've shared with you using the 70-300 f4.5 to 6.3 from Tamron. Just to conclude, what type of photography would I recommend this lens for? I think it it would work perfectly with product photography or shooting car photography as well with a compression at 300 millimeters. I would suggest having a tripod with you just so you can reduce or lower your ISO and yeah, and get sharper images with less noise. Again, for the street, I mean, for street photography, it really, I could just make it happen. Really, it depends on what you look for in the streets as well. It's just a really sharp lens for me. And if you're thinking about getting a telephoto zoom lens and you have limited budget, this is definitely I would say a good investment to start with and get your career in terms of photography. I know I didn't mention video, and I don't think videographers would go for this lens, due to the focal length and also the variable aperture. So I would say it's more towards a photography centric creator, I would say. Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to Tamron Malaysia for loaning me this lens for 2 weeks, and it's been really a great journey with this lens. It opened up my perspective in terms of what I can shoot and how I can shoot street photography. And yeah, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you like what you see in my channel, do subscribe to my channel and leave a comment if you have any thoughts. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comment section below. That's just a quick review from me. Anyways, do take care of yourself. COVID is still out there. Make sure you keep yourself safe, sane, and happy. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. All right. Thank you. Bye bye.